Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
It is a good day to get to share as much as we can with you to be helpful during this time. And joining us now is Jim Sam, CEO of Concordia Plan Services. Jim, thanks for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Well, thank you for having me on the show.
Jim, give us a little bit of background of what Concordia Plan Services is and who you serve today.
Sure. Well, we are an entity of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. We are tasked with administering the employee benefit programs of the LCMS. Without getting into too many detail, these are self-insured employee benefit trusts. And really what it is, it's the church walking together, our 6,000 ministries, 31,000 workers, walking together, taking care of each other, whether it be health issues, preparing for retirement. It's a great way of taking these financial services and have the church walking together, taking care of our church workers and their families.
So during this time of pandemic, I'm sure that many ministries, many church workers have lots of questions and pertaining to a lot of those things, those services that you provide. What have you been focusing on? What has Concordia Plan Services been focusing on since the start of the COVID-19 crisis?
Sure. Like all of our ministries, we are an employer, and one of our first and primary concerns has been the health and the safety of our team, much as the case for all of our churches and schools. We also understand our role as a service provider and our need to continue to serve with excellence our ministries and our workers. We put into place a pretty aggressive work from home strategy, and I'm really proud of our team for being able to pull that off in a relatively short period of time, whereby our employees are continuing to take care of all of our plan members. We have a few things to watch from a health plan standpoint, a lot clarifying how coverage of the COVID-19 testing would be handled. We wanted to make sure our different vendors, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Express Scripts, Cigna, are continuing to support us and our members as well. And we've been exploring different things, for example, with telemedicine, expanding some of those opportunities, and hopefully we'll be rolling some more things going forward as people still need care, but this is not a time to go to a doctor's office or into a hospital. From a retirement plan standpoint, certainly watching the market volatility. We need to make sure that we have appropriate liquidity, meaning that we have the cash to make benefit payments to our retirees, and making sure that we're getting the right messaging to our plan members during this time. The other thing that we do is we're an advocate for our LCMS ministries in Washington, D.C. We work closely with our counterparts in other denominations, making sure that things that are happening at a legislative and regulatory level continue to serve the unique needs of our ministries and our workers. We've been actively involved, for example, with the CARES Act that just came out, and making sure that those provisions are helpful for our ministries and our workers during this time.
That's a very wide-ranging amount of things that you all are still doing, and I mean, I'm very thankful for that. I'm sure a lot of other people are also thankful for all of this work that you're continuing to do through this strange time that we're all experiencing together. You mentioned the CARES Act. Let's talk a little bit more about that. What do we need to know? What is this CARES Act? What do our members and ministries need to know about this?
Certainly, there's been a lot of things that have been on the news. We are looking to focus in on those areas specifically that impact our ministries directly at this time. It is a comprehensive, complex bill, a lot of interconnecting parts. One of the things that we've been paying attention to, though, is the economic relief that's going to come to small businesses. And through the Church Alliance, we've been actively lobbying to make sure that those resources are available, not just to nonprofits, but to religious organizations. Since these programs will be administered through the Small Business Administration, quite often religious organizations are not allowed to have access to those types of loans. However, in this legislation, and specifically the Paycheck Protection Program, Congress intended for religious organizations to be covered. This is all going to be rolling out this week. There will be guidance issued by the Small Business Administration. Largely, this will be facilitated by local banks and other lenders. Right now, we see a lot of disinformation being put out by different types of advisors out there, and so we are continuing to work with our counterparts, making sure that those in DC are putting together the guidance. We'll make it very clear to lenders that religious organizations have access to these dollars. Specifically under the Paycheck Protection Program, our ministries will be able to get a loan for up to 2.5 months worth of payroll benefits and other expenses. The big thing on this, though, is that 8 weeks of expenses are forgivable loans, provided that the ministry spend them on payroll benefits and other qualified expenses. So the guidance is going to be coming out, but I really encourage all of our ministries and ministry leaders to be reaching out to their banks or find an SBA lender who can walk them through this process. We've been working closely with our friends at the Lutheran Church Extension Fund. They are working at hopefully being able to identify a preferred provider. And so we should all stay in tune for that. But if you're already working with a local bank, you may want to see if they will be administering these SBA loans. A lot of other portions of the CARES Act. There's a payroll tax delay, employee retention credit, unemployment assistance programs. You want to be careful because there won't be any double dipping that's allowed. If you participate in one program, you won't necessarily be able to participate in another one. So a lot of different relief that's available out there, but I would really encourage our ministries to be focusing in on the Paycheck Protection Program. There are also, I should say, an amount of funds available under the Educational Emergency Relief Funds. And I know the Council for American Private Education has been watching that. That has not been a specific area we've been focusing on, but there's some other resources directed towards parochial schools. And so school leaders will want to look to that as well.
We have just under 3 minutes left. You mentioned the Church Alliance earlier. Can you share with us a little bit about what the Church Alliance is?
Yeah, this is an organization, really the equivalents of Concordia Plan Services, around almost 40 different denominations. We cover the theological spectrum, the political spectrum, but we don't talk politics or theology. We just deal with issues related to church benefit organizations. And we were involved in getting some legislation passed at the end of last year in the year-end tax package that was favorable for some of our congregations and other ministries. And we were ready to act and work with some of our champions on Capitol Hill, particularly Senator Langford of Oklahoma, to make sure that the concerns of churches, synagogues, and other religious employers were packed into this CARE Act. So it's a great organization and very effective at getting the message of who churches are and the great work that we do across the country.
How can Concordia Plan Service members and ministries stay up to date on the information that you shared with us today?
So I encourage everyone to be going to concordiaplans.org. Go to our website. We have a banner at the top where we're pushing our COVID-19 information. That is getting updated nearly daily, and we're committed to making that the best and most up-to-date source of information. So visit it regularly because things are changing constantly.
Very helpful information. Jim, thank you so much for your work and for sharing this with us, and we'll certainly share the links in the program notes today as well. Mm-hmm. This is really helpful, and we really appreciate your work and all the great folks at Concordia Plans. We miss seeing them seeing each other at the IC on a regular basis, so we really appreciate all the work that your team is doing, even from home, just like the rest of us all working from home. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Jim.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, coming up tomorrow, we get an update on the the CPH Faith courses. We get to check in with Joe Willman at Concordia Publishing House. He, too, is working from home to keep us informed on the CPH Faith courses. Some Bible studies that you can do. I know they're making a lot of them available to I think for free. Some of the regular premium ones are available for free. So we'll check in with Joe tomorrow right here on the Coffee Hour. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@kfuo.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.